Right, guys, welcome to another Sunday evening. Now, this one is a bit of a commission I've had, an unpaid commission, might I add. So, it's something for the daughter, and she has given me her strictest instructions of what she wants down to the centimetre, and it's down to me. I've got free reign on the design as long as she gets what she wants. You know the score. You'll have daughters, some of you'll have daughters. You know how sort of fussy they can be. She's learning well off her mum and her aunties, that kind of stuff. So it's an item that's got to serve sort of two sort of functions. So let's see if I can do it. So what I'm using here is some 6x1 pine, 1x6 pine. I do use some plywood, which is 12mm. In hindsight, looking back at the project now, you'll see at the end, I probably should have used 18mm, but it's fine. It's, doesn't make it any less. It's just that if I was making them to sell them, I'd probably use 18mm ply. So I'm just marking out everything here. And as you can see here, this sort of wood, it's that batch of cut wood I had. I bought a load of wood and there was nothing wrong with it, and I stored it stupidly in the back of my van when it was red hot. Some of you guys call it a truck, and it just all warped and went out of shape. So I can't. There's only limited stuff I can do with it, but this is probably its limit. What I could, the biggest sort of thing I can do with it, and it doesn't really matter because it's just something for the daughter, basically. So, as you know, round power tools, just take it nice and easy. Make sure you take your time, don't rush. Just ripping these down to, I think I've ripped these down to around about 5 centimetres. I can't remember now off the top of my head, to be perfectly honest with you. But anyway, yeah, just nice and easy through there. Now this wood, this pine, I don't know whether it's a weather change or not, but I've had it a while and I've obviously used quite a lot of it on various projects. But when I was cutting it this time, it just felt a bit tough to get through. It felt like sticky, if that makes sense. I know pine can be like a sticky wood and sap up and all that kind of stuff, but it just felt a bit extra sticky. I don't know if it was a humidity change or whatever. Some of you guys that know more about wood and timber and all that kind of stuff, if that's the case, just let us know in the comments, because I just found it just a little bit odd. So here we are. This is a piece of 2x4 now. I need to cut down a bit. The 2x4 sort of withstood the heat in the back of my van. That's not too bad. I've not got much of that left, but I just want to get onto some hardwood projects. So I want to use some of this up, get it out of the way. And don't forget, guys, I have put a shout out for some of you YouTubers that's probably on about the same amount of, if you've got like sort of like 1,000 sort of subscribers, maybe more, that you're sort of quite used to YouTube sort of for now. If you want to do some sort of 2x4 challenge, something like that, let me know in the comments if you're interested, or go into the description and my email address is there so you can email me. It would be nice. It'd be nice for all the subscribers, wouldn't it? On your subscribers, my subscribers, and then we can all sort of cross promote each other and grow all our sort of YouTube channels that way. So don't forget, guys, subscribe. It would massively help. You could hit the super thanks and you can join me on Patreon. It would massively help. My channel's just short of 7,000 subscribers. Still a very, very, very small fish in a big, massive sea. But I want to try and bring my content as authentic as I can. I don't want any sort of nonsense and crap and all that kind of stuff. As my channel gets bigger and better, I want to keep it, I want to keep the flavour of it, if that makes sense, real. I want to keep it real. So, yeah, your support is really appreciated. And don't forget to tell people and hit the notification bells, whatever, bells, whistles, all that kind of stuff. So again, I'm just cutting through here. These are for supports for the bottom of the thing I'm making. Just run it through there. They're just homemade push sticks I made. People say to me, oh, why don't you sell some merch, t-shirts, all this kind of stuff. It's, to be honest with you, it's not for me. I might do some hats in the winter, but t-shirts and all that kind of stuff is just not for me. I just haven't got that thing with that, you know, that kind of thing. I enjoy making the woodworking content, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing and putting these videos out for you to watch, and hopefully, you know, you come on this journey with me from not being a woodworker just as an hobby, and hopefully some years down the line I want to become a really good woodworker, and I hope to take some of you guys on that journey with me, and we can all sort of learn together. The comment section is amazing for learning. If you guys want to go and read through some of the comments on some of my videos, there's some guys putting really smart comments in there that, you know, will help us all. So one thing I am impressed with is this Melif trim router. It was a budget tool that got sent me, and I've been using it, putting it through its paces, and I've got a few of these Melif tools. These ones are the DeWalt platform battery ones, but you can get the Milwaukee and the Makita, I believe, and they're really, really good. Good cost-effective tools. They've not let me down, but proof will be in the pudding. You know, let's see how they go on over a period of a couple of years. So I'm just going over the ends here with a chamfer. This is sort of bits that you don't need to do. It's just something that I wanted to do on this project. Just taking it nice and easy, keeping my fingers well away. I am going to put a base on that. I'm going to make a clear plastic base that I can sit on that. That's the only one thing, if anybody from Melif are watching, if you can make a base that sort of sits on the bottom there, that'd be, you know, better for people to use when they're doing small pieces, that'd be great. I mean, I don't think it'd cost you much more to pop that in the box, and I'm sure if it was a couple of pound more or a couple of dollars more, people would still pay it. They'd appreciate that in there. So I'm just going over, sanding everything at the minute to a 150 grit. Just taking it nice and easy, just getting all the pencil marks off. And there's some marks on it where I've trod on the wood, and there's foot marks and all this kind of stuff. The speed I use on my sander is sort of halfway. It goes sort of like 1 to 5. I have it set on about 3 for pine, and it seems to take quite a bit off and leave a real nice finish. That was something I learned again from the comments about using your speed right with your sanders, you know, to save your sandpaper, all that kind of thing, which was a really good comment, and it's proper valid because it does work. So I'm just gluing the sides in here. I didn't really need to glue them. So the sponsors of this video are the Screw Shop UK, and they've just brought out this sort of like organizer with screws in. I switched to these, and I contacted the guys, and they sent me a load of screws out, and I am going to switch to them. I normally use sort of big box screws, all that kind of stuff, but this is a small family business based in the UK. I don't know if this shipped to the US and Canada. You can ask them, but the screws are fantastic, and they're a really good price, to be perfectly honest with you. When I say they've sponsored the video, no money's changed hands. Have sent me screws out. That's what I mean by sponsored the video. But I've got to credit where credit's due. I never knew there would be like a difference. I thought just like screws are screws. You know, you get what I mean? Some of you guys will get that. But then when you start using better quality screws, you actually do see the difference. So I'm just marking out here for some handles for the side, but I'm going to turn that into me sort of signature look, my freehole look, that some of you guys will know that I do on some of the furniture pieces that I make. And I am looking forward to making stuff out of some hardwood. It won't be massive projects. There is one sort of project that's got a bit of size to it that's in the process. That, that is a project that I want to do. It's like a bedside sort of cabinet out of hardwood. I just want to make sure to get the right sort of hardwood for some of the detail I want to put on that before I try it. And all these projects with the pine and the plywood and all this kind of stuff are all learning. They're all learning sort of projects. Just take it nice and easy with the forcing a bit there. I do get a little bit of blowout on the back, but I'm going to go over it with a trim router anyway, so it doesn't make a difference on this. If it was something I was going to make to sell, I would take a bit more care there, to be honest, and try and limit that. I have put a board behind, but I think because the wood's cut a bit, I think that added to it because it's sort of raised a bit in the middle. So I'm just checking for square here as I'm putting this sort of together now. Everything as square as I can get it. And I'm just putting the piece on here for the little support runners at the bottom. These simply get glued and brad nailed into place. As you can see, as it's sort of forming, it is a box. Now, she's asked me to make a massive bedding box. I hope she's got her sizes right, because she wanted it between 100 centimetres long and 104 centimetres long if I can get it there. Well, I actually get it bang on the 104 centimetres. And she wants it so she can use it as the bedding box, sort of partly for her junk and everything that's in the bedroom. But she also wants to be able to store stuff on top of it. So if you guys can remember the old school sort of luggage racks, maybe at train stations, that kind of stuff, they had sort of like these beams running across the tops for supports, and they were like real heavy duty type things, and it just to take the weight. So she wants that because she's got like cases, and you know what women are like with bags and cases and all that kind of thing. She's got all them, and that's what she wants anyway. So here I'm just cutting in notches for the base section. This is the floor of the base on the inside, and this is the 12mm hardwood ply I'm using. I'm just sanding everything back, just getting all the bits and fluff off. You don't have to be super accurate with that, as long as it fits and it's like it fits well and it serves its purpose. That's fine. If I were a bit more skilled, I'd probably have that fitting a bit more snugger than that, but obviously time and learning will get me there. So these are the little sort of supports for the top. So this is the lid section. So as you can see here, I've got the 12mm ply down. I've cut a groove, so I'm going to put like a bracket, 3 brackets running across, and this is for the top now, which it strengthens that plywood and it adds super support for the top. So I just simply glue and brad nail them into position. I could have glued them. Now you can see places. What my plan was, what I did wrong is, see where I've put the screws in to put it together. I was going to plug them, but this cutter I'm using here, countersinker that goes right in, it's fantastic by the way, and I got it off Banggood a while back. But what I didn't think of was the size, and I haven't got a plug cutter to cut this particular size, so I've just left them like that. So these little bracket type hinges here, stainless steel ones, I did get them off Amazon a while back. Now I've told some of you guys I'm not putting any Amazon links down below because there's been a few stories I'm hearing about fake goods and all different sort of little mini horror stories about Amazon lately, and I'm not putting any of you guys through that sort of thing. You go and buy something from a link that I put down and it's not right. That's not fair to you. So I'm refraining from Amazon links. If you see any links down below, I will recommend them. I've got one to the screw shop. I've got one for me. What's it? Me thing that me dust collector, me cyclone, because you get like a bit of a discount with that anyway, and I don't sort of earn anything off that, so there's no kickbacks. And here she's, before she lets me in the house, she's at it again. She's doing more damage to me here than anything, honestly. She's taking real joy out of this. She's loving it, look. I think that's a bit narcissistic behaviour, do you? There. And here's the Mellif drill. I've been using this on this build. The jaw is out on it. The blower's fantastic. The drill, the jaw is out on it. I've only just started using it. So far, it's been amazing. But let's get a few projects under my belt using that drill before I can sort of say yes or no to it. But up to now, it's been fantastic. Nice weight, nicely sort of nice in the hand, real heavy duty. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I enjoy using that more than my DeWalt one, to be honest with you. It just feels better in the hand. But time will tell, as they say. So I'm going over it now with 2 coats of Danish oil. It gets in between the coats as they dry. I've got one of these grey pads. I go over it with a 500 grit. It's like a grey pad thing, just to denib it. Then it just gets another coat of Danish oil. I'm not going to bore you putting 2 coats on this. The only thing here I would suggest is make sure you get every bit of the wood. And what I found to apply this, the easiest way, was one of these foam brushes. You can just throw them away after each use. Just take your time. I love the smell of Danish oil. And it just, I could stain it. You could paint this. This could be a really smart sort of coffee lounge table for your living room area. There's so many uses: toy boxes, storage boxes, tool boxes. There's 1,000,001 uses for a box, isn't there? But her specific use was in the bedroom, which she wanted it in the bedroom for a bedding. And her bags and luggage and all that kind of stuff. So just wiping everything off, getting all the excess away. This is an important step, really, because it is quite runny Danish oil. So just make sure, leave it on for about 15-20 minutes, then go back over it with a rag. And here's it's finished. So as you can see, she can put the stuff on the top there. It's nice and strong on the top. She could sit on that as well. She puts a cushion down there. It's a big old thing. 50 centimetres high, 50 centimetres deep, and 104 centimetres wide. You could make this to whatever size you wanted. It's got a little clasp on the front there, so she can lock that. Yeah, my signature free old look on the side. Little castors I added on the bottom there. I could have hid them a little bit better. Maybe a bit bigger castors, but they work fine. The what I had, I got from Lidl Parkside a while back. I quite like it. I'd do it a little bit differently next time, but it's all learning, isn't it, really? Let me know, guys, what you think about it. That's the inside there. There's a few things I'd change differently next time I'd build it, but all in all, my first time building one of these, I'm over the moon with it. It's solid. It's rock solid. That's going nowhere. Yeah, and let me know what you'd use this for if you made it. It's different, isn't it? It's got like that sort of oriental sort of vibe to it as well. I like it, and no doubt she'll like it. She's not back till Wednesday, so she'll get it then. Thanks for watching, guys. You're all amazing, and on to the next one.